All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cauvee, lifestyle coach. I want to welcome you to joining us. We've got my one of my buddies. He's a good friend of mine, and actually one of the first mentees I started working with, Mr. Alexander Campbell, and he's here with us today to kind of share some insight on his story, what it's been, the experience, and how that's been working side by side with me as a coach, and that way you guys can kind of get a feel as to what that will be like for you when we start working together. So Alex, thank you, man. Tell I guess everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do and are all about right now.
It's a broad question, but as far as what I'm mainly about, I'm working at Zillow. I'm at a sales job. I graduated school in May. I got an accounting degree, which interests some people because I'm not actually trying to become an accountant. I'm actually trying to run, I have a couple business ideas that I specifically want to create at certain times down the road. And I'm doing a sales job, kind of to give me that experience networking and getting people to take action on things so that I can, change the parts of the world I have interest in starting a business. So accounting background to learn the business, sales for the experience, business plans down the road, entrepreneurialism. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, love to plan everything myself, but doing a job at Zillow right now, basically selling marketing to real estate agents who, if you've ever been on Zillow, most of you who have searched for a home before, bought a home probably have, then you've seen how you'll click on a property and some agents pop up. And they're basically paying to be there.
You froze on
and
us.
I'm having to call them.
There you go.
I froze
you're
on
now.
you?
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. Okay, so yeah, I'm basically cold calling real estate agents. A few of them are warm because they reach out and ask for some information because they're that proactive. But otherwise, I'm just reaching out to people to sell them advertising.
All right, so that's awesome, right, y'all? That's like big ups. That's like you gotta give propage where propage is due. So a lot of the students that are watching this video right now, they're like, okay, what would it be like right now? They're a little skeptical. I've never worked with this guy before. How would you define your experience working with me and the type of style? How would you define the type of style that the coaching has been for you?
I guess one thing about you, Cauvee, is I found that you always reached out first to understand where I was coming from. So it was like I didn't come. A lot of our first meeting, you were just asking me a bunch of questions and kind of digging in, which first of all was good because I figured out that for me to really be an effective salesperson and do effective business, I've got to do a lot of digging into a lot of other people.
Right.
And so I knew what that was like firsthand because that's the first thing you're doing with
right.
The other thing that did was I realized that I found out kind of as I continue to work with you that you're really an expert with sales and business. But what I found out there was that you didn't just kind of know facts and some strategies, but you actually were looking to do whatever you could to bring something that was going to directly impact how I did things. And I guess I kind of knew early on that it was going to be helpful to me because the more you talk to me, the more questions you asked that show that you had been listening and that you knew what you needed to know next about me to help me the best you could, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that make sense the way I said that?
It does. What would you say was one of the bigger challenges that you faced early on, and then maybe something that you learned to overcome that challenge after we had worked together?
As far as like specific sales challenges?
Well, it doesn't have to be related. Just anything that you took away from our sessions together, maybe something that you was struggling with in the beginning or something that was a challenge that you said, oh, okay, I actually learned something that I can implement that has hopefully made an impact on your current Zillow job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there are a few. Let me think. I mean, one that kind of based on what I've been saying, one that was definitely a a challenge was to dig in more to the people I'm seeing, and not just get straight to the product, or not just talk about the product and do all the talking, but get them to do the talking. And something I'm working on, I'm continuing to need room for improvement on, is actually getting them to do more talking without feeling like I'm doing a survey. But as far as actually listening to what they're saying and digging in, that's something I've been able to do a lot more. And I mean, it's amazing the difference. Like, the person's like, oh yeah, like they're actually trying to help me. They're not just pushing this product on me. Before I always had great work ethic. You didn't have to coach me on that. But I would go to all these appointments, and my work ethic was hard work pushing the product on someone, and at the same time not wanting to be too pushy. So I'd usually end up closing some really small deal or having just a low close ratio. And so I was working hard, just not really connecting well. And so you really helped me learn how to actually connect with a lot of people. I'd say that's one challenge. One other that came to mind that has been critical has been feeling like a salesperson. And it's hard. It used to be really hard for me just a month or two ago. It was really hard for me to call someone up and not to be like, oh, how's it going? Hey, how are things going today? So could I, could I interest you in this? And kind of not knowing exactly what I'm saying. And if I did know exactly what I'm saying, it's because I memorized some sales pitch. And, I figured out people don't like that. So how am I going to actually just be myself and at the same time lead them to the right path? And I've come a really, really, really long ways from that. And it's so much more effective. It's also a lot more fun. I found it's actually more fun to connect to people than to try to memorize a sales pitch.
Absolutely. And would you say that we had a lot of fun, or we were meeting guys about an hour on Sunday once a week? Would you say that we would have a lot of fun on our calls, or what was kind of the vibe or the energy that you got when we were working together? Oh, cut out again. Can you hear me?
It was fun because
you're back now.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
It's back. Okay. It was for the most part fun because, like, okay, what's the deal this week? How am I feeling? What's something to improve on? And just the fact that I knew I was going somewhere and making great progress made it fun to be like, okay, what can we tackle next? I'd say where it wasn't so much fun, but more like a challenge, was just the fact that I knew that it was on me to make progress through the week. I knew that I had the potential, and sometimes that's scary. I guess sometimes I guess all of us really sometimes just want to fall back into a shell, take it easy. I'm gonna have a call with the coach this week. He's gonna challenge me. He's gonna try to make me better, and that's gonna take effort. And it does. And that's a part that sometimes feels fun, exciting. Other times you just have to choose to do it. You have to choose to improve even when you don't feel like it. It's very rewarding on the long run. I'd say as far as our conversations, though, we got personal. We laughed. We joked around from time to time. We got serious when we needed to. Overall, we did have fun. But there's also the side to things where you just gotta choose to improve, whether you feel like it or not.
So if you had a chance to do it again, would you go through another training again? That's always big. Like, would you sign up for a training with me?
Yeah, because if I hadn't, I'd be further along than I would have improved at some things at Zillow, but all the crucial things that you taught me, like being like how to be myself, how to dig into people's pain, and actually show them how what I have is going to help them, and doing it from that serve perspective as opposed to pushing something on them. And then a bunch of other specific strategies you taught me. I just would not have produced nearly as much as I had without it. So I can just kind of know There's kind of that's kind of a no-brainer to me.
So being very transparent with you guys, Alex has not gone through the Art of Sales and Relationship Mastery program yet. I've told him a little bit about it now that we're going into launch mode. So that will be on the table for him. And one thing that we both share and align on is always getting better. You know, you implement, you refine, you implement and you refine, and you keep improving. So with that note, what things would you have liked to done? What things could we have done together that you would look at me now, you know, from a feedback standpoint, so that they know that as well? Where could we have improved to get an even better result, or what things would you like to see done differently?
Oh, that's a hard one. You should give me a couple of these questions.
No, we want to live. We want to live on the air. You got, I mean, like I said, be full transparent, because that way I know what to improve on and implement for the next student. So like I said, don't hold back.
Yeah, maybe it would have helped if coming into the calls, one thing you would sometimes what you would have me do is take like notes in the past call and have an idea for what we're going to cover in the next call. And it's always good to make me, as a person working on this, think about that and write some of those things down. Maybe it would have been helpful if you, as a coach, since there are certain things you could see in me that I couldn't, and some of those I do see now. Like I see where you were leading me, even though I couldn't at the time. But since there are things you see in me that I couldn't, maybe if you would come into the meeting with a couple of roadmaps laid out. Just since sometimes I couldn't see that.
Got it.
And it seemed like we kind of worked off what we wrote from the previous week, which was a lot better than nothing. It was very good that we took those notes and we knew what we had covered and check what we had improved on. But if you had kind of analyzed it and made some kind of roadmap and think about it, since you could see things that I couldn't. You say froze again?
Yeah, there was a little segment there where it kind of cut out. Can you go back and say that one more time? Sorry about that.
Yeah. So what we did was we went over the notes that I took during the training. But if you had kind of thought through some of that and made kind of a roadmap of something you knew of the next step for what the next meeting should be like, that might have been helpful. Because obviously there are things that you were seeing that I couldn't see at the time. And at the same time, it is good to make me write things and think about it. Because if I'm not willing to do that, if I don't write it down myself, if I'm not doing, or I should say, if I do write those things down myself, it's gonna force me to develop it in my mind, even if I don't realize it's happening, just by writing them down. So it's good for me to do that as well. But it may have been helpful for you to make some kind of roadmap yourself.
Awesome. Well, Alex, we definitely appreciate your time, folks. Right? Big ups, right? That's a big ups to Alex. That's what's up. We appreciate you sharing with us exactly, your experience. I appreciate personally you talking about how to refine. So basically what I gather from that is maybe more of a roadmap and a syllabus, so you know what the starting points are and then where we're going to end per discussion. So thank you so much for that, sir. I want you to hang on for a second, because I still want to talk to you about some things, but we're going to go ahead and discontinue the recording. So students, future students, you have it there. You heard it live. It was rare. It was raw. And yeah, if you guys want to work with me, make sure you hit us up, hit me up personally on any social media engine. You can go to cauvee.me, cauvee.com, and I'm here to serve you. And once again, Alex, we appreciate it. So thank you, sir. And we'll be back next time. I'll talk to y'all soon.